Hey guys, welcome to a new video. Today I want to show you a few ways how you can start a fire in a survival situation or when you are out camping, on a hike and some similar moments. Actually, in all of those situations you're gonna need to have a lighter, but that's not a win if you don't know how to make a fire with it, because you can't just put some wood together and make a fire with just a simple lighter. That's not how it usually works. You're definitely gonna need some small little flammable things that can keep the fire going until the bigger parts start to burn too. Do you guys know what is this? This is a hand sanitizer and it's really flammable. People usually use those small bottles. You can often have it in your bag or somewhere in your pocket, and it's very handy when you are camping or you are on a hike and you need to start a fire, because that thing is so flammable and it has invisible flames, so just be careful because it can be dangerous. But it's a really great way how to start a fire, because it's gonna burn for a few minutes and you have enough time to put some small wood or some dry tree bark on it, and you can actually make a fire. So we're gonna put a bit of the sanitizer on some dry surface and then just use your lighter. It's gonna burn instantly. Look at that invisible flame, it's kind of fascinating. Pine sap is highly flammable and makes a great fire starter. You can often find it leaking from pine trees, or you might spot small bubbles of sap on the tree's bark. You would need some dry material to put this liquid sap on, for example a pine cone. Then just use your lighter. It burns for a while, giving wood enough time to catch fire. So I just show you one way how you can start a fire with pine sap, but that's not the only way, because for this one you actually need some dry thing to put that liquid sap on it, and it's gonna burn. But in some occasions you can actually find hard parts of pine sap hanging on a tree or just flowing from the tree bark, and you can grab that with your knife, and you can use your lighter and you can set it on fire, and this thing can burn for several minutes, like maybe even 10-15 minutes. It really depends on the amount of sap you have. If you have a big chunk, it can burn maybe even for an hour or something like that. So that's one very good tip if you need something that can keep the fire going for like a very long time. And there is also one more thing that I know that you can use for this, and this can maybe even burn for longer time, and that's a fungus. Actually I think it's also called bracket fungus, and it's one of the species of mushrooms, but those are growing on a tree bark, and they are so hard. It's really actually rock hard mushroom, and when you set this mushroom on fire, it's gonna burn for a really long time, and it's not actually gonna burn, it's more like just smoking, and it's gonna keep the sparks inside. And it's a really good fire starter. You can also carry it with you when you are going somewhere else, or you are on a hike and you need something like that. It's a really good thing to keep it in mind. So next time when you are out there and you're gonna see some mushrooms on a tree bark, just look at it. If it has like a hard rock consistency, and you can grab it, just take it with you, and later on when you need to start a fire you can actually use it. So yeah, that's another very good tip that I think is very useful. I would really like to show it to you, but unfortunately in those woods around me I didn't find any fungus. Another great fire starter is your socks. See those tiny pieces of cotton? Cut them off, but make sure you gather enough. More is better, as it will burn longer. Basically, you're gonna need something that can instantly start to burn, and it can be actually many things. For example, dry grass or dry leaves, but those are pretty obvious. But sometimes everything is wet, or you are in a location where there is no dry grass or leaves, and you actually have to start to be creative. For example, just a little piece of foam from your jacket can actually save your life, because when you are in a cold conditions, your clothes is very important. But when you just take a little piece from the corner of your jacket, just a little bit of foam, it can actually save your life if you're gonna make a fire with it. Let's get back to the pine trees. It's not just the pine sap that is highly flammable, but also when you manage to collect some dry pieces of pine needles, it's also a very great material to start a fire. And there is so many things. Also, for example, feather can be a very good material to start a fire. You just have to start think about different things that can actually start to burn very quickly, but they're gonna keep the flame for a few minutes. But as I said, in all these situations, you actually have to have a lighter with you. If you don't, well, that's a bit different situation, and it's a bit more challenging, but there are also many ways how you can start a fire without lighter. But I think that's another topic that we can maybe discuss in another video. One of the best fire starting materials is birch bark. As you can see, it's easy to harvest. And lights up almost instantly. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video. I believe that you learned something useful that you can use on your outdoors adventures. And as always, I'm gonna see you in another one. Whoop!